Welcome to In Exile. Tracy Beanz did a great summary on the lay of the land with Kari Lake's lawsuit.
It's something, and Kari was right when she said that, this could affect all of Arizona elections moving forward because
If they do nothing, and I assume they could dismiss this case, but they're going to expedite it. But if they ignore this case, then they are setting a precedent that you can do anything with these elections legally.
so we had the trial, right? We went to trial for the first time ever. We saw that trial. Everybody watched it. It was sort of ridiculous, the ruling that came down. So then they appealed that decision to the higher court. And then that court also reaffirmed what they had said in the lower court and added their own flair to it. But the problem is that the flair that they added to it makes it so that Arizona election procedure and law in some cases is just completely moot.
She's specifically talking about the latches, which means that it is too late to do anything about this problem because the election's already happened, that Kari Lake had to have launched this lawsuit before the election. That is, before she saw any trouble, she'd have to have called it out.
Ruling against basic things. For example, Kari Lake was challenging the procedure they used to verify signatures in the election. And the lower court said, oh, you've brought this challenge too late. It's something called latches. They say that you brought it too late, you brought it too early. This is the standing kind of juggle we do in every single election case.
Yeah, Kari Lake's just saying, was the procedure followed? And she couldn't have seen that the procedure wasn't followed until after her election.
If she were challenging the procedure's validity and how they implemented it, then yeah, it would have been too late. But that's not what she was challenging. She was challenging whether or not they followed the procedure. And they didn't. They didn't follow the procedure. So that was kind of tossed aside.
The defense said they didn't follow the procedure. They flat out talked about all their on-the-fly stuff that they implemented in an emergency situation, but they basically said they didn't follow procedure. And the court said, but it's too late to bring that up, so we don't have to address that because of latches.
Another thing, the chain of custody issues, Charlie, were absolutely off the chain. If there is not chain of custody requirements, why bother with anything at all at that point?
Yep.
So what basically happened was they said, Maricopa County, we've got far too many ballots here. And there's no way that we could follow our own procedure to count these and catalog them the way we need to before we send them to the counting center in Runbeck. So they scan the ballots there, they do the signature stuff there, all kinds of stuff. So we're just not going to do that. And we're going to send them along to Runbeck anyway. So there's a point of contact from one place to another. That's not, you could insert anything into those ballot stacks at that point and no one wouldn't be the wiser. And the higher appeals court said, that's okay. They were overwhelmed. They get the benefit of the doubt. If that's allowed to stand and the Supreme Court of Arizona decides not to take this case, what's the future for chain of custody on ballots in Arizona?
They will have had Arizona Supreme Court underline and announce that chain of custody does not have to happen and you can still win an election. And by the way, nothing will be done about it until a Republican wins with problems with chain of custody. Then the Democrats and all the judges will come out for it. I'm Doug in Exile.